can see, we got the little Colorado loaded down with some junk. We doing some cleanup around the shop. You know the deal if you've been OG to the channel. When you do wreck cars, you take a bunch of wreck parts off, meaning you got to scrap metal every month or every other month or something like that. So this is my third load. This is all the aluminum batteries and wheels and stuff like that. This is the good paying stuff. So we're gonna scrap this, see how much money we get for this, and then we're gonna pull next door and go buy the aluminum for the wing that we're building for the trunk lid, and hopefully pay nothing out of pocket. We got our ticket. We're gonna pull out of here. We're gonna go run in the office and get paid, and then go turn around and spend it. And hopefully this project will kind of pay for itself off scrap metal. I made, let's see here, 70 something yesterday off of what I scrapped, 70 or 80. When they hand you $100, you know you made a good run. This is scrap metal. Like, this is stuff that was laying in my ditch. So let's see the breakdown on this, and let's see what we actually got paid. Copper, $5. Radiators, $11. Unprepared steel, 63 cents. Car batteries, $11.76. We should have took the car batteries somewhere else. I think you can get $15 a battery at O'Reilly's, I think. So next time I need to stop bringing them here and actually try to take them there. Appliances, 20 cents. Aluminum sheet metal, iron, aluminum, aluminum wheels. There's the ticket right there. Okay, so all them rims I just scrapped, $112. Electric motor, $1.40. So definitely a very good run for pulling stuff out of the ditch and for funding this project on this wing. So this ticket right here alone on that truck bed will pay for just about this whole entire wing project. All right, so we're back at Southern Metals. Basically, you can get all kinds of scratch and dent, you know, sell all this scrap plate that's been cut up. You know, like that stuff's way too heavy, way too thick right there. We should use diamond plate. They just sell everything here. This place is amazing. We've been here a couple times on the channel in videos. So I'm gonna look through this stuff and see if I can find some stuff for the struts, and see if I can find some decent aluminum. Normally I have a ton of aluminum stacked up here, but this looks like all stainless or aluminum now. So we might actually have to pay to have something cut if they don't have nothing to scrap. It looks like they're a little low, which I know there is an aluminum shortage. Look at that freaking tie rod. Keep telling John that he needs to just come here. I mean, they got ginormous pieces of freaking steel. I mean, look at that. Look how thick that is. You know, for no prep. I mean, that sucker right there is really, really heavy. I mean, they've got all kinds of crap that you could use for, you know, no prep. Like just solid freaking chunks. And they've got scrap. They got scrap bins. You know, or this stuff's even cheaper, but it's still some pretty thick plates in here. And then there's even thicker stuff back there. I mean, look at this guy right here. Do you understand how thick this thing is? I mean, I can't even move it pulling on it, just squatting down. All right, so we got our piece. Whoa, the wind, boy, it's windy. We're gonna get this thing in the truck. Hopefully we don't lose it. And we gotta go see Promon Brandy to look at something over at his shop. Flip it under the bed liner. Look at that. Now we can't lose it, can't blow out, and since it's getting painted anyway, doesn't matter. All right, so that was $44.94. So obviously we're way ahead. The stuff that we're using to bond this together, we're gonna go over that here shortly. It was only like $30, $31 and some change to my door, and I'll explain why whenever we grab that package. Let's go over to Randy's. We gotta look at a car over there for him, and then let's get to the house. Got a big box back here. We just grabbed Randy's front bumper. So he's got a, you know, one-piece front bumper. It's not a one-piece front end, but he had to order the, I think it's called like the bumper cone. I don't remember the technical name for fiberglass stuff, but it's, you know, the solid composite one-piece front bumper. We're gonna be fitting fenders to that. So went ahead and picked that up, take that to the shop, leave it there, and then he's gonna bring me some fenders, and then we'll be fitting them up. All right, so we just got to the house, got in the package of all of our stuff. Let me show you what it is. So it's gonna be this Motorcraft metal bonding adhesive. Okay, now the issue with this stuff is that let's see here, the use by date is going to be right here. Used by November the 1st, 2014. Okay, so this stuff is technically expired. Okay, now regularly, I'm not sure how much this would be normal back in 2014. I really don't know, but I can tell you for metal panel bonding stuff, okay, from 3M, which is what I use on a customer vehicle. So if I was doing your job, we would be using a 3M product that they use nowadays for bonding metal to all types of stuff. That stuff is about $80 a tube, and the tube is smaller than this. Okay, so you can see my hand around this, okay? The tube on the panel bonding stuff only goes to about right here where my pointer finger's at, if that. So it's less material, and it's $80 a tube, meaning 2 tubes, 160 bucks we'd be holding right here in our hand, and for 160 bucks we'd have less than this. So this was on eBay for $40. Now there's more on there. If you'll go on eBay and if you will type in Motorcraft TA1B, okay, so if you'll type that in right there at my thumb, if it's, I don't know if it's gonna check out, then they have other ones on there for clearance. So this was make an offer on this one. I made the gentleman an offer, and for $30 with free shipping, and so with taxes and everything, we were 31 and some change out the door on all of this stuff. Now I would never ever put this on a customer's job. Like I said, let me make that completely clear right now. But he did say, and I seen other people selling it on there that also said the exact same thing. If you'll get on eBay and type this in and read a couple of descriptions, you'll see that there's some people that have sold a lot of this. I'm guessing these people probably bought up a bunch of it in clearance on bulk. And they said they haven't had no callbacks or people wanting their money back because the product didn't work or whatever. Now, of course, it all could have failed. You know, every last freaking bit of it all could be a giant failure and just nobody has contacted them to try to get their money back. So let's make that perfectly clear going into this project. But I'm stupid, okay? And I like to save $1. So if I can save a penny and do something dumb, a lot of times I go that route on my own stuff. We are not going to be using the gun. So normally you would take a gun and you would put this in there, and the cartridge, it would self-mix. So obviously this is the same length, okay? So obviously the ratio is gonna be, if you were doing it, is 100% of this top tube to 100% of this bottom tube down here, and that would be the mixing ratio. What it does is as it's mixing, it mixes in this nozzle. So you can see the zigzags in there, okay? So when you're squeezing it out, the fluid goes through there and spins around, does all this crazy stuff, and it self-mixes it for you in the nozzle. So you just keep pumping like a caulking gun. When it comes out the end, it's self-mixed. Then you could cap it. You can come back, put another nozzle in it later, use it later, whatever. So the gun, though, I was seeing them for around 50 bucks. This is a cheap DIY budget project. My channel is based on DIY budget stuff for the most part. Yes, TKM is building our motor. That's far from budget. No, we don't have a budget LS, but we're on the bodywork, paint side, and putting the car together, we try to stay as budget as we can. You can also, if you wanted to do this on a budget and you wanted to make sure this don't come off Randy and Randy really, and them are been clowning on me at the track this past weekend and said that me using this really old stuff, this 10-year-old stuff, is going to, I'm going to be making a pass and the whole trunk lid, the top of the trunk lid is going to blow off and go down the track. So I told them make sure they got their cameras on, because I will be showing y'all and I will be telling y'all if this fails, because I don't care about failure on this channel. I'm not scared of it. I'm not trying to make myself look good or anything like that. So let's get to it. Let's go work on our metal, get our metal fit to our trunk lid, start bending up. Let's do all the pieces we got to do, and let's get this trunk lid assembled. But before we do, we're going to pound down these cupcakes because the wife made a whole freaking tray of them. All right, so what we're going to do first is we just set our metal up here, and we roughly got the same distance here and here. Metal creates a straight line. Measure your deck lid. Half of your deck lid is 52 3/8. Half of that is going to be 26 1/4. It measures 26 1/4 that way, 26 1/4 this way. Our aluminum is 5 feet wide. Half of that's going to be 30 inches. 30 inches, find your centers, and then we're going to slide them up so that our centers are together, so everything is symmetrical. Now, we have to make our aluminum wider than our trunk lid because of this right here. We want the little wings that go out over the edges. So as you can see, our trunk lid goes to here, and our wing comes all the way out here before our spill plates, before they start. Mine's gonna be the shape of the deck lid up here, and then down here it will come wider, and then we'll try to get this bend in it a little so that it goes down and kind of matches that form. It's gonna be a little harder because my bender is only 19 or so inches, and I know this was the widest it could get when I bent that, but I think I can bend this by hand. I think it's gonna be light enough to bend by hand. The new one, I think we are gonna take the spill plates and bring them to right here to this edge, and I think we're gonna go over top of these right here. So I think we're actually gonna go ahead and drill these pieces and put Zeus's in them, or drill the parts one and put Zeus's in them. I'm not sure yet, but either way, I think we're gonna put Zeus's in our end caps on the Comets and the Maverick. The end caps are not part of the car, and then I think we're gonna build big gangster spill plates, and I think they're gonna come all the way down to here. So I've been digging that long look in the back and big spill plates on the side. So I think that's what we're gonna do for this one. We can always change the spill plates and unbolt it. All right, so now that we have established our center, we've put the clamps on this side and put a big block to get that. Now the problem with this is that this thing bends like this and it bends like this. So it's a pretty complex, I guess you can say. It's not just smooth like that. So you can see when we're touching in the center, we're actually gapped up on the outside pretty big. So it's gonna be a little funky to stretch this. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and drill us a place for our, done forgot what these get bad boys are called. Man, my mind just went blank. Rivets, our rivets that we can reuse. That's what we're gonna call them today. So we're gonna go ahead and drill it, put one in the center, and then put ones on the outside so we can start forming this way. And this will also keep us in the same spot, so even if we take this off, we go back on, there won't be lining up no measurements. All it will be is just putting these right back in, and then when we do the final work to this, we'll just take these holes. You can weld them up if you have a welder. I don't weld aluminum. Mike does on my welding, but you can easily just take some of your panel bond and just put a little in each hole, and then roll right over it with all your primers and all your body work. So that's what we'll do. Is we'll make sure we get some panel bonding agent in there. So let's get these drilled, get this thing where it's mapped out and has reference points to go back and forth, and then we'll start marking our sides, and then we'll go ahead and get probably cut, get it cut for this part of the wing, or the deck lid. We'll get the deck lid trimmed out probably, and then that way we can start working our back half. All right, so the problem that we're having right now is that, of course, the metal, it needs to go this way, and it kind of needs to go this way across the top, and then the end right here is almost straight. So it's wanting to go a lot of different ways, and of course this metal doesn't want to bend that way. Now when these are built from the factory, that skin is probably put into a big press. Normally it's put in a big press, how you make quarters, stuff like that, and they are sandwiched together, squished. So that means some areas are stretched, some are shrank, whatever needs to be, it's stamped into that shape, whereas we obviously can't stamp it into this shape. We can only pull it together. So what I am looking at is that I went ahead and tried to map it out, but when you look right here, basically, okay, you can see our support right there that we left in the inside of it. It's wanting, let's see here, if we pull this down, it's pretty much wanting to hit right there, okay, before it hits on the outer edge. So basically what that's doing is it's creating a high spot up in here. So the metal's kind of trying to roll like this, but also like this, but then right here in the center, you have something that's trying to push it up. So it's just trying to go too many directions, where we just want a clean, big sweep. We don't really care if it's, you know, rolled out like that. We just want it all to look like one big clean sweep. So I think we're gonna come in here and we're just gonna simply cut some of that top out right there of that support and eliminate that issue. And then we will refit this metal again and see if this time we can get it to curve right. So you can see right here, this is what we have taken out. So we literally just took this hump out. This hump that's sticking up, this I think was getting in our way. That's what we just cut out. So we're gonna refit the metal on there and see if that helps. So yes, that did seem to help out tremendously. I don't know if you could see the reflection, but the awkwardness in the curve is not it's not too bad at all. Now all this will get skimmed out with primer and blocked. You can see, you know, there's a little waviness in it, but it's not terrible. Hopefully we'll straighten that all out with a skim coat, but we don't want to put too much on it because this is going to flex and move around a little. So we want to keep our you know, what we put on here to a minimum, and hopefully when we get done it will look decent. You can see we got a lot better now. You know, our edges, we can pull them down. I mean, we're really not bad at all. See under there, that just, these things just ain't gonna pull it down but so much right now. And we honestly probably need to come in here and take some more of this metal out, get rid of this 2.5, because that's kind of holding us up and also making it harder for our outsides to go down, as you can see, like that right there. So we're definitely gonna have to pull some more steel out of it so that we can, you know, get it to roll better, and try to get rid of this roll right here and just try to make it more straight across. So I guess let's go and try to cut our perimeter maybe a little bit more, at least the sides. The front, the top don't need to be cut, that don't need to be cut, but the sides at least need to be cut so the metal can kind of go more straight across. All right, so we've also come in here now and cut this section out. Instead of cutting this long ways, basically I just did relief cuts in it. That way it still has, you know, a little bit more strength than if you just have it this wide. It's easier to bend this edge like this and flex it than if they have these tabs hanging off of them. It's a little bit, still gives a little bit of strength, and I was able to take these and just roll them down, because basically if they're cut like this, then as you roll them down, the split opens, being it's curved like this. So I did relief cuts on both sides to help push these down, and then when I looked across it, when I eyeballed across it, you could see that the pieces are in here were still up. So now it looks like we have a decent straight shot across. You can still see we're high right here. So that might need to be maybe hit a little bit with a hammer. I might hit that down real fast. So this side looks pretty good also. We're gonna of course hit the center right up there. So we're trying to go straight across and still hit that center. That will give us a little bit smoother transition into our wing. But up here, like I said, we've got it all disappeared, besides maybe this, and maybe that should stay right there because that's a smooth, you know, transition from maybe the top, and maybe we can get a glob of panel bond on it right there or something. So let's just leave it alone right there and fit the aluminum to it and see where we're at. All right, so we're looking really good now compared to where we started. If we come over here to our edges, as you can see, our edge don't really have too much gap, and it will go down. These, like I said, don't really pull it up tight, but you can see our side right here. Our side will pretty much roll down. So whenever we tighten the center down right here, our side will pretty much go down. We just got to look out for that pop right there. See how that pops? See, we're gonna have to watch out for that and figure out how to get that out. That's what we're fighting with. It's just, you know, you bend metal one way and it pops somewhere else another way. So we have to basically figure out how to get this thing to pop in the direction we want it.